The Fat Controller had recently implemented a brand new system for the railway, news books. Common for many railways across the UK, these books would inform readers about recent happenings and progress on the North Western Railway, like projects at the works or the Permanent Way Department. Today, the first issue had gone on sale at Tidmouth. The engines had taken an interest in them. Saw some of those North Western Railway news books on the platform earlier. It's a new practice, apparently.
If it's talking about us, they'll probably feature me in most of the articles. Why, I've done plenty of things recently that warrant talking about. Like, well, we'll all be talked about equally, I expect. If any of us had any accidents, or special charters for instance, they'll likely write about that.
Well, no one's had any incidents recently, have they? Oh, never mind. Well, we've showed a good deal of copies already. It'll really take off, I'm sure. Already has done in England. Sir, if any of us had any incidents between now and the next issue, would it be written about? There's a good chance, but what we're really aiming to write about is the activity of the line for enthusiasts who don't live as close. So, I do not want you trying to cause accidents for the sake of appearing in a book. Yes, sir. A few days later, Bear was on local passenger work. His engine had been growling more so than usual recently, despite seemingly working fine. His driver promised to take him to the works on a day with no rostered work. Passing the junction station, they spotted a man near the embankment with a camera. He was wearing a uniform not normally worn by those worn by line-side photographers. He'll have been hired by the Fat Controller to get shots of everyday runnings for the next North Western Railway news, his driver said. But doesn't he want to write about progression of the railway? Oh, he does, but he thinks it's nice to have pictures of normal services. Show people which engines pull what trains, I guess. Fair enough, I suppose. But then, after climbing Gordon's Hill, Bear could feel something wrong with his engine. And indeed. Oh dear. Well, that's torn it now, hasn't it? Huh. I had a feeling we should have looked at it earlier. Now look what's happened. It didn't take long for the driver to identify the problem. One of Bear's electrical contacts had come loose, resulting in poor connection. All the passengers had alighted the train. How are we going to get home now? Care to explain? All right, everyone. I know you're all eager to get going again, but we're still trying to find a solution. If not, there's a bus station at least 30 minutes walk away. Why didn't you look over your engine earlier? Incompetent driver. Then at last, one of the passengers came to look over the problem. What's the issue? One of the contacts have come loose. We can't get going until it's fixed. The passenger was holding a copy of North Western Railway news. You could say this is desperation, but would one of these books hold it in place? The passengers looked weirdly at him. Is he off his rocker? Wait. Come to think of it, there's a chance it could work. The driver wedged the contactor in place with the book, much to the astonishment of the other passengers. Then everyone climbed back into the train, but not before one of the line-side photographers got a picture of the situation. Fancy the North Western Railway news saving a failed train. That will certainly make the next issue and no mistake. If it wouldn't be too much of a problem, could I have a ride back to Vickerstown? Not a problem. Well, here goes nothing. It worked. Bear continued to Vickerstown with only a 10-minute delay. Bear had been moved into a siding. He remained quite modest about the situation. The photographer gave the Fat Controller a ring on his mobile. Afternoon, Topham. Something rather humorous happened on Bear's 11 o'clock service to Vickerstown. Seeing as I'm meeting you tomorrow, may I discuss it with you for the next issue of North Western Railway News? You won't quite believe it, mind. 2 months later, the next issue of North Western Railway News was released. The photographer was correct. There was an entire article all about Bear's situation with the news book.
It's funny, first bootlace, now a book. Whatever next, eh?
Dare say it wouldn't have happened had my engine been given an inspection beforehand, but oh well. It's running great now. The Fat Controller says a lot more people are purchasing the books now. My little incident worked wonders for them.
Well, if you ask me, a good picture of me thundering along the line on the front of every future issue would sell even more, I think. I'd better not move until those catch points are set properly.
If you derailed on them, they'd probably put you in the next issue.